Today I'm going to introduce you to the Tinkercad Sketch Tool, so let's get cracking. Step one, of course, is to visit Tinkercad.com. It is a 100% free area for you to design 3D designs, circuits, and code blocks. I always choose sign in with Google. Your designs are all saved to the cloud, and we can start by simply hitting Create New 3D Design. I like to start by naming projects. We're going to call this one Sketch 101, and I'm going to put a 26 after it. This is the Sketch Tool. It's been here for a while, but I'm going to walk you through it step by step for 2026. If today is your first day ever seeing Tinkercad, I've got a ton of day one tutorials. You can find them using this bit.ly right here. In Tinkercad, we build with shapes. You can simply drag them out and use them. I'm going to delete the simple box shape, and instead we're going to bring out the Sketch Tool. Now I'm scrolling with the scroll wheel, and I'm going to set this right at the 0, mark. You can see this corner right here. I am making sure this sits in that 20 by 20 grid with that vertical line centered on that spot. Once we enter Sketch, I highly recommend clicking on the Sketch features. These are updated all the time. We have got a twist and scale. I've got several tutorials for this. Make sure you check them out. This is always updated. It's animated. You can read about it or you can just watch the pictures. So many fantastic techniques, smooth curves, things we can do with the pen tool, Bezier curves, strokes where you can change the thickness, the edit tool where you can modify it after you've completed it. There are also actions like make a corner, make smooth, split handles, and finally you can add points. You can come back here at any time to relearn it. You can hit this button right here to close it. I will explain them in the video. If you prefer my tutorials, you can always use this bit.ly right here to find my full playlist. Let's start by using the line tool. What's slick about this is you can click and snap lines, and it gives you dimensions as you build. Then how we used to build with blocks, notice I can just get my dimensions, whatever you pick, snap them together, and quickly build shapes. When you click on it, you can see the dimensions are 50 by 35. If you click inside, you can find the measurements of the other parts. If these measurements are in your way or they bug you, you can simply use the shortcut or click the button to hide them. When you hit Finish Sketch, that part is built and you can extrude it to whatever size you want. If you want to edit it, you can simply double click to return. Let's say you needed this dimension to be different. You can simply use the arrow keys to nudge it down to the number you want. So there I just went down 5. You can click and check your measurement by clicking somewhere else with those dimensions on. Of course, I did shut that off. You can also click on a point and say you needed this to be sloped. You can drag it over to a new spot and adjust your design in all sorts of ways, including, check this out, I'm going to hit number 2 to make it a smooth curve. Now, smooth curves are exactly split in each direction. When we hit Finish Sketch, check out how perfect that corner turned out. All right, just for fun, let's change the scale to 80% and notice that funky shape that we have just created. I do want to highlight something super quick. Remember when we adjusted the height? We broke the parameters. A huge thing to remember in Tinkercad is if you're going to use the wicked cool parameters, never stretch the handles. That breaks them. It is just a fact in Tinkercad. Now, I don't need this part to be super specific, so I'm not worried. I am going to have fun with this real quickly. I'm going to set the steps to smooth, and I'm going to change this to 50 spins. Check out the complex part that we just built. How cool is that? Of course, we can still hit Edit Sketch to re-enter, or of course, double-click. And once again, you can look at this and say, oh my gosh, we took this design, easily drew it by using the smooth curves, adjusted it by dragging the points using the arrow keys to whatever you want, and when you hit Finish Sketch, bang, it twists, stretches, and revolves it to make something fantastic. Finding this part in these options is just not possible. Let's duplicate this. Control D is duplicate. I'm going to move it to the side, and let me show you something else. If we edit the sketch, we can click on this part, and instead of having it be a closed item, we can give it a stroke. Notice right now this is on the inside, we can instantly switch that to the outside. You can change the corners from sharp to round or beveled, whatever you prefer. Notice that's got a nice chiseled end. I'm actually going to stay with that. You can also set this width to whatever you want. Now when we hit Finish Sketch, check out that funky design. I don't have a need for it, but it's nice to know you can make it. Real quickly, I'm going to set it to a color red, just for fun. I'm going to change this one to blue. Don't forget you can do custom colors. And let's practice tracing something. I'm simply going to bring out the star. Notice when we set the star down, it is actually twisted kind of funny. If you rotate this 90 degrees, now it feels more appropriate to the world. You see that's got a center and a center. To line this up with the center, I'm going to change us to flat view, and I want to look at it from the top. Now if we zoom in, it is real easy to see that we've got that on the center, and this is on the center as well. I do want to switch back to perspective view because I like it more. And then we're going to bring out the sketch tool, and I'm going to set it on that same center line. It's not at the exact same spot as the part, so we've got to pan to get to it, but notice we split this right down the middle. All right, so this is one of my favorite techniques. We're going to make guides to make tracing this easier. We can't get exactly to the points. I'll show you real quickly. If I click down here and I hit escape to finish that path, if we zoom in, it misses by a tiny bit. That's just because the design does not fit the exact measurements. Now we're just going to make these guides all the way around. I'm going to hit P for pen, and I'm going to start another one close to here. Notice it just goes as close as I can, escape to finish. P for pen, as close as I can, and I'm going to force this to go straight across by holding down Shift, and once again, click where it finishes, escape to finish. I'm going to do the same thing down here, P for pen. Now I do have the option of setting my nudge smaller. There's 0.5, once again, Shift to keep it straight, click to finish, escape to end that line, and then P for pen, and let's finish down here. I'm actually going to set this all the way down to 0.1 just to show you it's an option. Wherever I click the first one, I want it to be straight, so if I hold Shift, that forces it straight, and I can click and then hit escape to finish. Now with those points in place, I'm going to put my nudge back to 0.5 so we can get close to that top point. Click, snap, snap. Notice I'm not going to the brown shape, I'm going to where my templates were. Bang, 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 and here, and here. Notice our star looks just like the other one. The dimensions are just a tiny bit off, but that doesn't really matter. If we hit Finish Sketch, we've now got a blue star, but our templates are still in there. Real quickly, let's edit them. Now we can click on our templates and do delete. Finish Sketch. I'm going to take this one and move it to the side. I'm going to do Control D. And when we hit Edit Sketch, let me show you why we built this. If you hit Stroke, I like to use 1.2, and we are going to set it to the outside. When we press Enter, we have just built a fantastic shape with walls. If we change this to 20, and we click on our other shape and change it to 2, we have now got the start of a box or a fidget, whatever you want. And it also gets us started on perfect fit projects. I'm not going to cover perfect fit in here, but I just wanted you to see how easy it is to trace with guides so you can make complex projects at a later date. We are going to do one final trick for today. Bring out your sketch tool. Once again, find a 20 by 20 spot. Click and set it down. Now to build this box, I'm going to make it 20 by 20, but then I'm going to show you how to adjust it. So right here is center, center. I'm going to just move down to this box, and I'm going to move 5 over. Now we're going to press number 2 to make a Bezier curve. We're going to do that curve 5 over and 5 up. Click, hold, and twist. If you go straight up and down this line, you get the perfect curve. Of course, we're going to do the same thing over here, but we're going to do 5 plus 5. Notice we've got that dimension of 10. We're still in the Bezier curve mode, so if we go 5 over, 5 up, click, hold, and twist, but just twist it till it's straight with that line. See how those dots lined up exactly? It is that easy to make a perfect curve. Once again, 10 across, 5 over, 5 down, click, hold, and twist, snap to the exact measurement. I'm going to intentionally mess this one up. See how I only went 4, but I'm going to go 5 because it really doesn't matter. I'm going to click, hold, and stretch. Notice that is the right amount, and then I'm going to finish. To edit it, I simply go on this point, click on it, and I can use the down arrow to edit it to the right location. Bang! We have just made a fantastic cube with perfectly rounded corners. If you really needed it to be larger, check this out. Let's just grab this side and turn it into a rectangle by shift nudging it out 1 click, or let's say 2 clicks. I'm going to grab this side, once again getting both curves, shift nudge it 1 up, or I could do single nudges to get to the exact dimensions I wanted. Notice you can click outside to check those dimensions. You can click on the whole shape and get the total dimensions. That is how you can harness the power of Sketch to make curves in minutes. Of course, we did that so that we can click on this one and give it a height of 2, and then we can do Control D, edit the duplicate, turn on the stroke, set it to 1.2, and of course set it to the outside. So we've instantly got our walls for our new box that is 25 millimeters high. How cool is that? Now I'm gonna stop here today. Once again, I just want to get you so you're excited about Sketch and have some basic skills. Don't forget, I have got the full playlist up here with all sorts of amazing techniques you can use with Sketch in Tinkercad. I do have one last quick skill as I wrap up. If you click right here, your project is saved. It is private. You can re-enter it by simply clicking Tinker This. If you want to make a copy, you can duplicate it. That way you don't break what you've already learned. If you find out you messed up, you can go back and check version history to get a new one. You can also click on the properties and you could make this a public design. In the description, you can share whatever you want. Of course, mine says the tutorial's coming soon. And then also I add tags. A magical tag is the HLMT23 tag. If you type that and press enter, I search that tag every day. And of course, I will give you a reaction. As long as you remember to make it public. I will let you know if you leave it share alike, users can modify your design. If you set it to no derivatives, then they can only see it and not modify it. Now, like anything in life, friends, the more you practice, the better you get. In my playlist, you'll find tons of tutorials where I teach you how to trace complex shapes. The reason you want to do this is because there's a super cool trick for fit. Make sure you check this bit.ly up above to learn how it works and of course learn all the cool things that you can create with it. Please, if you're using Sketch, I would love to hear why in the comments below, and if you've got tips, add those as well. Friends, as I wrap up, I do want to say thanks to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Also, make sure you pay attention for those members-only posts. Also, a massive shout out to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We're way past 450 members. It has a fantastic free messaging area, and you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bit bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.